And hello there, I return, surprise. It's RJB from RJB TV, and we're gonna continue on with Burgersasu wins Kuangai. Let's dive into game number 2. The score at the moment is 1 win for Burgersasu, who had a quite nice counter-strike against Kuangai, which gave him the first win in a Zerg against Protoss. Kuangai, honestly, played really well. He played really well, but he left some of his defensive options unprotected. And Burgersasu is the one person who will definitely exploit any defense that you leave uncovered. Any option you give him, he takes it. He takes your hand, and then he pulls you under like a crocodile catching their prey, and pulls you underwater, and will not let you go until you've drowned. That's the kind of player Burgersasu is. He takes that one opportunity, and Kuangai gave him that one opportunity which he shouldn't have given him. Because if Kuangai had weathered or survived that attempt at his life, he would definitely have been able to slowly but surely strangle Burgersasu out and push to a victory. But you know, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made, and he couldn't come out on top. He does the same thing here as in game number 1. Goes for a mid-gate bull order, something he did in the first game to varying amounts of success. The mid-gate itself didn't really achieve too much, but he did achieve moderate amounts of success with the Reaver push. He did achieve moderate amounts of success with a Reaver push. A Reaver Dragoon High Templar Zealot push, to be more exact, because he only had 1 robotics. It was largely really just those very annoying gateway units that he kept on producing non-stop. So he's doing the same thing this game around, I believe. He's going to try to go for the double shield battery to block the creep from being buildable, because if you block at very exact locations, you can prevent the morphing of creeps, but there's a little bit of an open space right here and an open space right there. So yeah, Burgersasu can still build those creep colonies, but he's gonna have to find the exact spots and locations to do it. So this time around, the shield battery blocking isn't as precise and exact and effective as the last time, but there's 3 creep colonies coming up. Zealots arriving on the scene, but they might just be a little bit too late. The Zerglings are doing an amazing job of keeping the Sunkens alive. And even though there are shield batteries, the shield batteries are not gonna be enough to stop him from killing the Zealots, which makes this a very expensive rush from Kuangai. The shield batteries did nothing, the pylon ended up doing nothing either. And the last Zealot there winds up doing nothing as well, so everything dies. And that's a very expensive rush. A lot of Zealots died. Burgersasu did build a lot of them Zerglings though. I think he made like 16 in total, lost a couple of them, maybe he made 14, but 16, 14, the difference, it's kind of the same thing, it's 50 minerals difference. But yeah, he defends the attack. Kuangai might try to walk through at some point once he has enough Zealots, but there's an Overlord there from Burgersasu in the middle that can see the Zealots building up there, so probably not going to try to walk through. I don't think Burgersasu is going to give him a chance to, because he's putting his Zerglings into position to walk and wall off those Zealots. And we have a Zergling there finding Kuangai's main base, finds the Nexus, 2 cannons are... 1 cannon is finishing up, Cybercore on the way, Fortress finish, double gas, 21 probes. Double gas this early on without a Nexus added on is quite taxing on the mineral income. Kuangai very stubbornly tries to walk through. I think this is a really big mistake. He's losing his Zealots and killing a couple Zerglings. This was not worth it. That could have been a pretty strong fighting force to use later on into the game, and it achieved pretty much nothing in my opinion. He even cancels the Evo chamber. so it really did achieve nothing. Still only has 3 sunken. He's defending on the least possible. Overlord on the middle. Overlord sees all the gateways. Attack level 1 on the way, and so is the Citadel of Adun. And we have a Robo coming up in the middle. He's not building right here in this entrance section, where usually people start building a pylon and a couple of cannons to help them keep the Protoss, or the Zerg, caged, jailed into their base, contained, locked into prison. For now, he's using the Zealots instead. The Zealots are just there to keep Burgersasu within his base. We have double Gaster in the back. 3 more hatcheries being morphed. So the hatcheries are a little bit slow, but considering that Kuangai is on a single nexus, I'd say Burgersasu is in a good position to keep his economy growing for a little while longer on the 5 hatchery, 6 hatchery build order at the moment. Only 4 Sunkas in the front, Overlord in the middle, got taken down by a Dragoon. Slightly hurts, but it doesn't hurt him too much. He's got the Hydralisk Den on the way. He's getting another hatchery, number 7. And he's getting 1 creep to protect that mineral line. So Den is finished up, getting Hydralisk speed, still only on 4 Sunkas in the front. Zealots are moving into position to get shuttled across the high ground. But Burgersasu might have seen this with an Overlord. Not sure if the Overlords can see those. They cannot see the Zealots. They don't know yet, but they will now know. As the shuttle arrives there at the high ground and starts loading Zealots inside of that base, we've got a Hydralisk on the way, perfectly on time. Perfectly on time. And the Hydralisk and the Zerglings coming in to surround and attack the Zealots. Zerglings in the front, Hydras in the back. Small little micro adjustment there from Burgersasu to make sure that the Hydras don't take any damage. But he turns around, he wants to save his units for as much as he can. Maybe he wants to snipe the shuttle. No, not going for the shuttle. He's going for the Zealots instead. Zealot speed is finished up. 1 attack, almost finished. Reaver on the middle, finished up, but can't be picked up yet because the shuttle is still busy shuttling units across that high ground. But Burgersasu is playing this very methodically and quick and smart. But I really think he should have committed to fighting those 4 Zealots. He's close to being supply blocked. He's got range on the way and more Hydras being morphed. We have about 16 Zealots in the base, adding 4 more. He's really taken a very long time before picking up the Reaver. He's shuttling in every single Zealot. Burgersasu picks the fight before more Zealots arrive. But that's a lot of Zealots, bro. That's a lot of Zealots. There's more even on the way. Retreat back to the Sunkens, where the Zealots cannot fight because the Sunkens are pretty hard to reach and even harder for the Hydralisks to get attacked. Because the Hydras are hiding behind the Sunkens. He's using SimCity to his advantage and now microing away, splitting up. Reaver gets picked up. Though Reaver gets picked up, he keeps on rally pointing his Zealots into the corner. This is very good play. I think Burgersasu really made a mistake not continuing the fight earlier on and letting that Zealot army build up into quite a menacing army. Now Reaver's on the scene, pushing forward, getting closer to those drones. Picks one of them up, gonna fly in. Oh, too far away from the drones. Reaver's gonna get sniped. Zealots are dying as well. Zealots are too far up north, too close to the Sunkens. Hydralisk micro is so damn good. And Kuangai is losing his entire army. Burgersasu, that was a closer call than it looked. It really all came down to Burgersasu controlling his Hydralisks so extremely well. I'm not sure many players could have pulled off that defense. Really strong attack from Kuangai. Really solid and even stronger defense there from Burgersasu, who is now smooth sailing on 45 drones. His economy has grown bigger and bigger, still only on 2 gas. But 2 gas appears to be just enough. More Sunkens coming up in the front. Zealots checking how many Sunkens there are. A couple too many to fight into, because if he goes for the attack in on those Sunkens with the Zealots, the Hydras from the back come to the front. And because there's only 1 Reaver, the Hydras come to the front anyway and kill the Reaver. And the Zealots have to return. Reaver dies. This is when you start to realize that only 1 robotics to push might not be fast enough. He might need 3 of them or 4 of them to have a bigger and greater amount of Reavers. He's going to try with the Zealot attack. 1 more Reaver arrives in the front, Dragoons in the back. That 1 hatchery is kind of being quite annoying. He has to walk all the way around, but now Hylian is coming from the back, moving to the front. Zealots retreat, Dragoons retreat. 47 probes there for Kuangai. He's got only one forge, and again, only one cannon there on his nexus, but about 16 games on the middle. He's producing really quickly. But his probe count is growing perhaps a little bit too slowly. This is when you start to realize that Kuangai really does need another nexus to speed up his economy, to speed up his growth, because now Burgersasu is growing really, really quickly. And Kuangai still has the supply lead, but it's not gonna be for long until Burgersasu has a greater production, a bigger economy, and a bigger army. Oh, the control is so precise from Burgersasu, making sure he never overextends too deep up until the exact moment that all the zealots die and the Reaver is easy to kill, ready for the taking. You're still only on 2 gas in the back. Only on 2 gas. 52 probes. I'm starting to notice that Kuangai does have a weakness in his playstyle. His economy is really, really small. He's completely focused on attacking and producing, but he's completely neglecting his main base and his economy to quite a worrisome degree, because Burgersasu, even though his own economy is not growing, his base is growing. He's got a steady income. It will soon get even better and better as the amount of sunkens keeps growing and growing. And that's going to keep on boosting his defensive ability up and up and up. We got level 1 shield on the way there for Kuangai's got level 1 armor and attack finished up. The hide is in the back, and on the sides have their level 1-0-0 actually. Level 1-1 almost finished up. We got a Spire in the air. Gonna go for some Mutalisks. Mutalisks are great against Reavers, even if it's, like, specifically if it's one Reaver. I mean, there's a lot of Dragoons, but the one Reaver, ooh, that's gonna be easy to take down with one strike. Oh, wait, another Overlord drop. He's doing another Overlord drop, and all of his units are away from home. He's not retreating. Oh god, we're gonna have a repeat of game number 1, but this time around Burgersasu flies right over the entire middle. And Kuangai is not responding. I'm really starting to notice some really big weaknesses in Kuangai's playstyle. I mean, the Overlords might actually be empty. They are empty. But it's still, that's a major weakness in his playstyle that could have easily been abused again by Burgersasu, although the Mutas on the side might fly in for the attack, although this Dragoon Zealot army from Kuangai looks strong, but the 1-1 armor and attack for Burgersasu just finished up, which means that this surround is super duper mega duper duper strong and is pushing forward. That surround did Kuangai extremely dirty. He got absolutely evaporated. The army is tiny, it's small, but he finds a pretty good position to fight from, but it's Zealots, and Zealots suffer more from a choke point than Hydras do with their range. And the Zealots melt like snow in the desert. It's so damn fast, it's as if they hardly existed at all. And Burgersasu again wins with a convincing push into the middle, Burgersasu style, on I'd say 5-11 hatcheries, no hive. Level 1-1 attack there on the Hydras with a good surround, and Kuangai really is showing some big weaknesses. Nothing in the back to defend, absolutely nothing. His economy is growing too slowly, and he doesn't have enough robos or control over this section right here to really get the results he wants out of that push through Burgersasu's choke. And Burgersasu really is a master in defending against specifically this exact strategy that Kuangai is trying to pull off. He's played against it so many times against, I would say, better players than Kuangai, and survived many of those times. But Kuangai still has a couple more games in him to prove to us that he is an expert Gosu, capable of taking down Burgersasu at least once, maybe twice. So we're gonna do one more game. Game number 3. The score, 2 wins for Burger, 2 losses for Kuangai. I almost had 1 win, but it's 2 losses for Kuangai. Korea against China. Game number 3. Burgersasu. Will Kuangai be able to push Burgersasu to the edge of the cliff and make him fall off that cliff? We have China Kuangai. Again, going for a mid-gate build order, which has proven to not be that effective in the first 2 games. It has proven to not be that effective in the first 2 games. Burgersasu is simply too good at defending any type of early aggression with his Zerg. Maybe the best. I don't think I've ever seen Burgersasu die to a mid-gate or a rush as Zerg. I mean, I've seen him take damage, but most of the time he recovers from the damage. And if he takes no damage, he just smooth sails right into the mid and late game. But Burgersasu here starts off on a corner spawn Terran, no longer on the Zerg, he's on the Terran. And the Terran, in my opinion, his Terran is slightly weaker to early aggression than his Zerg. Which sounds very weird because pretty much everyone else on StarCraft has a better Terran than Zerg on fastest map 1v1. But Burgersasu, in my opinion, has a slightly weaker early game on Terran than on Zerg. But his Terran in late game and mid game is absolutely disgustingly good. So Kuangai has a very difficult task, a very difficult mission. You could even say it's a mission impossible here to overcome. He has a mission impossible to overcome. Burgersasu double barracks against the mid gate. That looks difficult to defend with. Starts building a supply depot wall there, but it gets blocked by a pylon. Very good pylon, actually. Very good pylon. He's trying to build another supply depot or a barracks there in the front, but double probe arrive on the scene to kind of be party pooping all over that attempt at building a wall. So Kuangai really has good rushing strategies, but will they work? Zealot gets through, Marine is in trouble. Marine is in a lot of trouble. Marine is in a lot of trouble, but more Marines arrive. It's only a double barracks though. We have an SCV. Ooh, the SCV is blocking the Zealot. Beautifully done. 3rd barrack on the way. Bunker in the front. He didn't build a supply depot, but a bunker. So at some point, after he kills the Zealots here, which he's struggling to do, he's gonna put Marines in the bunker. But now there's 3 Zealots in his base and a probe. 1 Zealot is on low HP, but the other 2 are a little bit healthy. Not very healthy, but healthier for sure. And the more Zealots keep streaming through, Burgersasu has a very difficult defense to pull off, but it's not something he hasn't pulled off before. And a very bad... Wait, that's a shield battery, not a cannon. He's ignoring the shield battery knowing it's not a cannon. He's ignoring it. The SCVs here though, the SCVs are helping him out tremendously. The control is good. He's winning the fight. He's winning the fight, and Kuangai's rush seems to be losing steam. Don't think I've seen Burgersasu lose against the mid-gate that often. He most of the time defends it quite like this, but this did seem like one of the more difficult ones, where the micro really had to come in tight and precise in order to pull it off. So China Kuangai tries to kill the bunker in the front, but there's a Marine inside, 2 Marines, but the bunker dies, and so does a Marine, but Marine's now arriving in the front. But he isn't quite liking the amount of Zealots that are right here at the moment. So he groups up a couple more Marines and goes for the push on the Zealots. The Zealots are splitting up and gonna walk right into the backside, which is gonna force Burgersasu to retreat yet again from that choke point, which should allow Kuangai to kill Supply Depot and get cannons up here in the entrance. So the Marines return because Zealots are in the back and he has to kill them. Then he wants to go to the front, but once again, there's too many Zealots in the front, grouping up for these Marines to easily overpower. Oh, he pulls back though, he doesn't want the fight. I think he could have taken the fight with those 5 Zealots. He takes the fight, getting on top of the Marines. Burgersasu not microing all the time, but doing as much damage as he can. Stutter steps backwards, Zealots stutter stepping forward. 2 Zealots arrive and stay alive. One of them dies. He's going to try to get some damage out on the backside there, but 2 Marines spawn. And then the fight is still going on. You're at home though. Cybercore finished up. Nexus on the way. Actually, Nexus is finished as well. And finally, Burgersasu gets to finish that wall here in the front. Got a command center in the back. No, he's building a factory actually. I thought he didn't have one yet, but it's on the way. As an academy finished up, getting stim, getting medic, and well, no medics there yet, but he's going to get medic at some point. Cannons in the middle there, finishing for Kuangai to keep Burgersasu contained. He's getting a robo here on the middle, which is very reminiscent of the usual Protoss against Zerg that we see. He's getting Zealot speed, level 1 attack, a Citadel of a Dune, excuse me. This really starts to look a lot like what people usually do against Zerg, not against Terran. But the fact that the robo is this close does mean that that the Reaver can just walk up and crawl up. But it does take away the Reaver shuttle micro option, but he is in fact building a Reaver. More gateways there coming up on the middle, not back at home. 1 cannon back at home, again, quite lackluster, but at the moment, Burgersasu has no option to attack Kuangai with. Barrack number 4, they're on the way in the back, so only on double command center, has a scan. Let's check what he scanned. We can't see what he scanned. I mean, he scanned it right here. He was gambling that Kuangai was maybe on the 3 o'clock spawn. He isn't, he's right next to him, which he doesn't know at the moment. He will find out at some point, but at the moment, he has no idea where Kuangai is. But he's probably assuming that Kuangai is on one of the middle spawn locations, because a corner spawn midgate is simply, usually, pretty bad. Pretty bad. Shuttle finished up, Zealot speed on the way, level 1 attack on the way, shuttle speed on the way, and a Reaver is on the way. 6 gateway there on the middle, of which 4 are finished. He is gonna try to bust through that front door with speed and a Reaver. We got pylons being built on the north to detect and see dropships leaving, a scan on the top. He's going counterclockwise to see where Kuangai is. So 3 o'clock, not there, 12 o'clock, not there either. Okay, number 7, they're on the way. He's going to try to break through, but a tank has arrived in the front, and we'll have siege mode very soon, which means the Reaver is not going to be as effective as it would otherwise be. But he might actually just try to fly in over the side here. Instead of attacking the front with the Reaver, he might attack the front with the Zealots. So he's checking the sides, looking for a way in, but sees 2 turrets and Marines. Although I don't think he saw the Marines, but it's safe to assume Marines are somewhere around there. Oh, the Reaver takes a shot to the face. He stays alive. His army has grown quite nicely. 48 probes, 114, 16, 18, 20. Supply there for Kuangai. 8 gateways. Gonna get another 4 very soon. Still only 1 cannon here, back at home. But he's getting a second one. Getting Dragoon range. Shuttle speed almost finished up. Burgersasu is on 4 barracks, getting a 5th one. Getting a 3rd command center. And he has a starport going for a dropship. Is he going to go for a tank drop on the economy? It should be easy to hit those probes when there's only 2 cannons, but there's number 3 on the way. Cannon number 3 is on the way. That's number 4. Okay, number 3, number 4. So 4 cannons there to protect the probes. Scan comes down, and he scanned the middle. Sees a large buildup of gateway production. It's a lot of Dragoons and Zealots there. 50 supply difference. Kuangai is going to get maxed out very, very soon. Burgersasu is trying to catch up, of course. He's on 114 supply. He's got quite good production, getting a 2nd factory. No science facility are on the way in the back yet. Still only on double gas, but at the moment, when you only have 1 factory, you don't really need a lot of gas. He's just putting all the SCVs on the minerals. He really went for the minimal amount of turrets, saving as much money on turrets as he can, and only using 2 SCVs to build those turrets instead of 4 or 5. And the dropship is actually flying all the way around. All the way around. Instead of just going right here. I mean, on the upside though, the cannons are on the left. Only 2 on the right. And we have 2 tanks, 1 tank in that dropship, attack in the front there happening. unloading behind the high ground, but that's a very bad unload. Achieves nothing with the unload, but the depot in the front goes down. More Dragoon Zealots there attacking, but this is a very tight choke point, a very tight, narrow opening that he cannot brute force his way into. So that doesn't quite succeed. And I'll be honest, his Protoss against Terran looks a lot like his Protoss against Zerg. Only one Robo, a lot of gateway focus. And this dropship here is looking kind of scary. Another cannon there coming up, but the tank will arrive before the cannon finishes up. Another cannon there coming up on the left side as well. He's gonna go for a double drop. This is 2 tanks inside. Actually, he's gonna try. What's he gonna do? He's gonna try to. He's gonna do some trickery. 2 dropship at the same time. 3 tanks. Arrives on the scene, unloads, and now the other one goes in as well. Hits a couple of probes. Oh, that was a good one. I was too slow clicking on the tank, but I think he killed about at least 10. Maybe 20. So that was a good hit. And he's going to try to go in again. Although now there are Dragoons in between, but that first hit might have done the trick. And the probes are going to the middle. Pull them back, my friend. Okay, dropship comes in. Dragoon's not responding. Sieges at the tank. Shoo! No shots fired. For now, Kuangai is safe. Relatively safe. He's down in supply. Burgersasu on 74 SCVs. Burgersasu just showing that he is indeed of a completely different level than Kuangai. Kuangai looks good though. He looks strong, looks good, but not as good. Or not good enough, in my opinion, to take down Burgersasu, but this isn't yet the end. There's still a game ahead of us. A lot can still happen. He needs some High Templars. He has High Templars on the middle. He needs a Storm Drop. He has a good opening here on the top, an opening on the bottom, but there are Marines in between on the bottom that aren't really in between the path on the top. But we know that the hills have tanks, and oh boy, are tanks on hills scary. He's gonna put some of them on the high ground, and then try to push towards the probes, which spells a lot of trouble for Kuangai. Kuangai there, checking the choke. See how much is there. He's loading up his Templars, loading up his shuttles. Tanks are being put on the high ground, and now on the low ground as well. He has some Dragoons to defend, 59 probes. He's kind of behind on the exact amount, but you can make do on 59. Cleans up the tanks to the low ground, but the high ground they're getting stronger and stronger. Barracks is being lifted up, getting sent into the danger zone at some point. Still waiting there on the middle. He's focusing on protecting his nexus here back at home. Marines stimming into the middle to open up supply space. And he goes in for the attack. The front is actually very poorly protected here by Burgersasu. And this is, in fact, a really big Zealot Dragoon army and High Templars as well coming up here from Kuangai. And Kuangai supplies dropping very quickly. Burgersasu supplies dropping a little bit slowly, but this attack is a good one from Kuangai. And he has a lot of cables on the middle, about almost 20. He's got 17, 18 of them. Tanks on the high ground though. Tanks on the high ground are party pooping, and tanks from the back coming to the front, and tanks spawning in between factories are frying those zealots in a hot frying pan. They're caught like a fish in a barrel. Moving to the top corner. He's trying to get the High Templar into a good position to storm. He's going to try to kill the turrets, but things are not looking too good. The tanks here from Burgersasu are also encroaching closer to those probes. There's 2 more cannons left to kill, and only 1 Dragoon there to be annoying but gets taken down. A couple more Dragoons moving down to the south. Turrets being replaced there on the top side. The upgrades for Burgersasu are currently on 1-1 for the tanks, and we have 1-1-2 there for Dragoons. So the gateway upgrades are really good, but it might not do the trick. He's going to go for a nuke. Ghost has arrived on the scene. We see the red dot there on the cannon. We got the... Oh, we didn't get the chance. Burgersasu is going to stay in the game, though, to give us a nice little spectacle. He got the EMP off. He's putting a defensive medic there on the Zealot. Nuke is going to land, and here we go. And that is the nuke arriving on location and exploding. And boom, down everything goes. Out with a bang. So 3-0 from Burgersasu at the moment. Things are looking very, very bad for Kuangai. There are some real big weaknesses in his play. Really big weaknesses in his play, or maybe Burgersasu is just too good at exploiting them, making them look like massive weaknesses. But so far, Kuangai looks good, but Burgersasu looks too good, if you ask me. So please do return for another couple games, because this is not over yet. Kuangai still stands a chance, or still has a couple chances left. Depends on the matter of the perspective of how you look at it, but he still has a couple of chances left to take down Burgersasu. In the next video. See you soon.